Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu, and this is Iceberg Islands for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic. A collection of icebergs make a cold setting for this ambitious theme park. Your objective to have at least 1,250 guests in your park at the end of October Year 3 with a park rating of at least 600. So I remember this one being quite awkward because it does have some underground pathing. Which is kind of obvious, I suppose, considering you've got paths on this island here, but no obvious way of getting to it. So let's click on underground view, hide land service, hide vertical land. There you go. Awkward pathing that I'm definitely going to get rid of. Reason being, it's really easy to accidentally delete the pathing underground. Maybe you're putting down some scenery and you put one in the wrong place, and then you go to delete it, but you don't delete it. You accidentally delete one of the paths underground, and before you know it, your rating tanks because you don't know you've deleted it. So I am going to get rid of the paths and simplify that. Given the mess that is the pathing on this one, I'm probably going to do the same here. We've got what looks like a massive golf course, 8 holes, which is, it's going to be terrible. The throughput on this is going to be absolutely awful. So yeah, we're going to get rid of that. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of everything. I've been really good lately. I've been keeping almost everything, minor tinkering, but I think on this one, I am going to get rid of everything and start over. We're going to have bridges above land, or above the water, across to all the islands, but we're going to start off, we're going to pick one island, build on that one first, and then expand to the other ones when that one's done. So I've waffled on enough. Let's look what we've got. We've got some transport rides. We've got good selection of gentle rides. Very good selection of coasters to begin with. Some thrill rides, some water rides, and not a bad selection of shops, but I would like some more. So I think for the first year at least, we're going to research shops and yeah, crack on like I said. May year 1. So we've started on this island over here, got rid of everything off that one, and we've built across a nice path loop around the outside. We are charging for rides. We've got free entry. Don't think I mentioned that earlier. So we've come around and then we got some bridges. The bridges we're using the brown path, so we've got that wooden effect. And then the rest of them we're using the grey tarmac effect path. And I think it looks pretty cool. Toilets and kiosks on corners, junctions, that sort of thing. My usual style. It means that if we continue doing that, by the time we filled up the park, most of it, we'll end up with kiosks basically everywhere. So every time it rains, we're going to make an absolute fortune from the umbrellas. But we also will have a load of toilets, and so we are going to be eligible for Best Toilet Award. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, so all in all, we're doing all right. We've got 162 guests. We did end up with 0 because I closed the park to get rid of them before, but we're doing all right now. I think a nice, maybe a junior coaster in the middle of this to start getting the money in, because we're only, making 124. I mean, it's only been a month or so, but we're not doing too great on that. We're never going to make, millions with just these flat rides. So we are going to need a coaster, and I think a nice junior coaster will round this island off nicely. October year 1, 604 guests in the park, so almost halfway to the goal then, but only a third of the way in time. So we've got the junior coaster just here. It's called Snowbug. Decent stats on that. Because we've got an elevation, because it's up quite high, we're able to make use of that. So we have got a booster coming out of the station, that first tile. Then it drops down, comes around, and then we've got a chain lift right at the top then, just to bring it back to the station, although it does go up a bit higher and then drops back down to the station, because it was quite awkward to get it to fit, to get it to sort of to work around, but I think it's pretty good. Let's look at the stats then. That's decent for a junior coaster. So we're charging £10 a go for that, so that'll help get the cash rolling in. So as you can see, ride tickets, sorry, making about 3,000 a month on that, and then when it rains there, you've got that shop sales as well, another 3,000. So I think this island now is done. We've got way more rides than what we started with, and it's all a lot more compact, a lot neater. I know where all the paths are. Although having said that, there is, Yeah, I've just noticed that now. Let's have a look. I think, yeah. So what's happened is, at some point, I've done something and it's disconnected that path. So I'm going to have to reconnect that and then carry on. So that's not a big deal. But it's a good job I caught it early. Otherwise, those guests are going to bring the rating down. But there's only a few of them, so it's not going to be, it's not going to be game ending. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Anything else interesting that we've got? I've got the station, the exit path shed on the observation tower and the 3D cinema, just there. Yeah. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to this island. I've already done the paths ready. I might rejig it slightly because I've got an idea, but yeah, I'm going to crack on with this one now, and let's see what we can do. October, year 2, over 1,100 guests in the parks, only another 100 or so to go, and we've got a couple of looping coasters down here. So I did rejig the paths then, because I had this idea of having some loops then and the path going through, and I think it looks pretty cool. So this one's called Tone. I've done it again, haven't I? I've done it again. In my head, it's really easy to say, but then when you come to say it out loud, Tongasuk, that's what I'm going to say. I think it's like the main god of Greenland. Yeah, so decent stats on this. Charging £10 a go for these ones. We've reduced the junior coaster now down to £5. So coming round then, Enterprise, we can charge £5 for that. Loads of 6, so I'm going to have to sort out some handymen. When it's got difficult pathing like this, it is a bit of a pain doing the zoning. So I think what I'll do is I'll zone the areas next to high sick rides, like for example high nausea rides, like for example the Enterprise, or high intensity rides that are going to make you puke basically. So I'll zone handyman around where the Enterprise is and the drop tower and the exit for the looping coasters, and then for the rest of it I'll just spam a load. It's just a lot easier. But yeah, this island's looking pretty cool. So after the loop, then it goes underground, and then there's a little boost section then at the bottom. It goes up, then comes back down. There's a little boost section, and then there's some photo sections, and then it just goes back up and back to the station. And then we've got a car ride here called Ice Road Truckers. It's a show. I don't know if I've ever watched it. I mean, I don't really think you need to watch it. You kind of know what it's about just by the title. And yeah, lots of food and drink around the place. Seating areas, that sort of thing. We're researching water rides now. I don't think I told you last year, after researching the shops for the first year, we were researching thrill rides for year 2. So now I've switched on to water rides. I don't expect there to be that many. I mean, there isn't a huge amount of water rides in the game, and we've already got quite a few to begin with. So it'll be nice to see what we can get to come out with, because we've got a good selection of coasters. So we've already got the junior coaster and the looping coaster, so we've got some good ones to get on with. So it'd be nice to see what water rides we can get to come out. Wow, look at all that sick. Yeah, so I'm gonna get on with doing the handyman and stuff, and then oh, that sounded wrong, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get on with spamming the handyman. I'm not sure if that sounded any better. You know what I'm trying to say. And then after that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect all these islands up, get some path loops ready, maybe put down a few rides, and see what we can do. We're never going to finish this whole thing in the next year, but as long as we can get that done, the pathing done, and pass the goal, I'll be happy, because we can always finish off in year 4, 5, whatever. October year 3, we needed 1,250 guests. We've got 1,400 and almost 50. We're good. We've got about 200 more than what we need, and we've connected all the islands up. So we've seen this island here, we've seen this island here. So moving on then, we've got this one, we've got the snowman down there, and then we've got the rotor drop just there, North Pole. Are there any guests going on it? I've closed it. Why is it closed? It's still in test. I'm an idiot. I've left it on test for ages. These things happen. And then we've got a water coaster just there as well called Hypothermia. Decent stats on that. So it comes down, up, around the bend, and then we got the splash, and then we got a long water section back to the end. So I have put down a entertainer that will go back into the queue path for that at some point, just in case. Although, is the queue that long? I mean, it only says 3 minutes. It has been filling up a lot more than that. So this island is currently empty, but we've got the pathing along to it. I figure it's just going to be a bit of a dead end up here, and then moving along to this island. Then we've got a spiral coaster just there. Called Frosty T Snowman. T is his middle name. After the last video where I was trying to type my name in and the screen just didn't want to work properly, so it only ended up recognizing the T, not the S and the U. I think just previous to that, I didn't include it in the video, but previous to that, the screen did freeze and I was trying to rotate it and it just wasn't working. So I've just got to make a point of, before recording, rebooting. It's just, I know it sounds obvious, but, sometimes I don't. Yeah, so, and then we got to bridge them back to the starter island. So we're doing all right. I've put all the flat rides and things like these ones down here, like the spiral ride on free, and the tower on free, and the 3D cinema, etc. on free, because the amount of money that we were making is just, if the amount of money we're making off the coasters compared to the amount of money we're making off the flat rides, it's just so humongously different. Like say 90% of the profit is coming from roller coasters. So considering 90% is coming from the coasters, we might as well make the flat rides free, and that way then any guests that are running low on cash can just go on the free rides and they stay in the park. So we're doing all right. It's almost Halloween then. I think the park is looking pretty cool. I did think it might be interesting to have the islands connected up. And I did initially think about having the river rafts. Is that what they're called? These. But then we unlocked the splash boats. So I can basically do the same thing with the splash boats, but I can also include drops, which will get much better excitement. And then it's also got much higher capacity. Let's see if it works. Ooh, awesome sauce. Yeah, and we've unlocked Razor Rocks. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that worked out quite well then. So as I said, I'm going to carry on because we've got quite a lot of the park left to build on. And I will see you when we're done. And we're all done, and I think the park looks pretty fab. There are some spots where I could have added some extra rides, but I think it's packed enough. It looks pretty cool. So let's have a look then. By the main entrance, we got the first of 4 splashboard stations. So I've pretty much connected all the islands up. Wasn't going for anything in particular, but the excitement rating came back as extreme, 10.7. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, the ride time isn't too bad on most of them, even though there are a lot of sort of what do they call it? Isn't there now chain lifts? But whatever the splashboard equivalent of a chain lift section is. So on the first one, then it drops down under the bridge, back around underground, and then you've got a long sort of up bit, and then a drop down, and then you've got the second station just there in blue. So I've color coordinated the different stations because I like to imagine that the peeps would think, oh yeah, I've ridden the blue one, I haven't ridden the orange one, or whatever. And then we've got a vertical drop just down here called Little Oak, a type of bird. Decent stats on that. So it drops down, goes around the bend, up the chain lift, holding brake, and then it drops down, twists and turns, back down here, and then we've got a loop over there, and photo section, and then backfire brake run. This is pretty cool. We've seen all these. Added some trees around the place just to make it look pretty. Got a little mini golf just over there. And then over here, then as we've seen the second station, and then we've got a twister with a little booster to launch it out into a batwing, and then we've got a corkscrew, some twists and turns, and then I don't know what that is, some other loop, some other version, and then back. This one's called Arctic Vortex. It's a man-made Arctic Vortex. If you believe that. Yeah, some people do. Yes, decent stats on that. Nice big drop on the splash boats. That's the biggest drop on the entire ride, and it's quite a long section. It comes back around and then up underground again, and then we've got the third station there in green. We've seen the spiral coaster. There you go, decent stats on that. Fences around the place, trees, etc. And then it drops down, then the splash boat's down, underground, and then back around here. And then we've got the fourth station in yellow, and then a few twists and turns, and then back to the first station. Pretty cool. Park with the best custom designed rides. I thought so. We've been winning quite a lot of awards. How many we got on the go? Just the one at the moment. We have won quite a lot though. Won that one. Toilets one. I've seen it pop up a few times. Obviously, it's making me out to be a liar. There you go. Most beautiful park, best toilet facilities. I thought it was more. Okay, but that's still all right. Still gives us a nice little boost. Yeah, so I think this park has turned out pretty well. Yeah, I like it. It probably looks a lot better than the first one I did. I can't even remember what that was, but I don't think it was very good. I was going to focus on the vertical drop, but it's broken down. Speaking of things breaking down, hang on a second. We're missing a fence just there and just there, and there's some sick. Pop a handyman down there. We've got 41 of them now. Yeah, so we are having quite a lot of rides breaking down and staying broken down. Let's have a look. I know I could do with some more mechanics, but where is that one? He's on a completely different island. Oh, and he's gone down the wrong path. Hang on. He's got the radio message. Yep. There you go. I haven't got a no entry sign on that one. There you go. Oh, pressed the wrong button. There you go. Probably don't need it, but everything's a bit uniform then where it's on. Yeah, so since we won't be focusing on the vertical drop just yet, let's focus on one of the Tongasuks. Yeah, cool. So this was Iceberg Adventures. I've been Stu. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.